Scene is the White House in Washington, D.C., where once again we find our new president busy making America great again.
Robiscus, where are you? Get in here.
Here I am, Mr. President, and once again let me thank you for allowing me to serve the greatest president in our history. Much, much better than our last one.
What? Who do you mean? You're not talking about that rat-finger boomer, are you? I don't know that you should be comparing me to him. That's a pretty low bar, you know. I could almost take that as an insult.
Oh, no, Mr. President. Why, everyone knows you're the greatest president in our history. Much better than that no-good, low-down type of ratfink. Ratfink is Rat Obama.
Period, Mr. President, period. I say you're the greatest president in our country's history, period. Oh, sorry for interrupting, Mr. President. I forgot the cheeks were still flapping.
That's okay, Spicy. It was Pearlby's cheeks that were flapping. He doesn't count.
Mr. President, we've got your calls to the heads of state this morning.
Do we have to do that today? It's such a fine day. I thought a round of golf might be good.
Yes, Mr. President, but first the calls.
Well, I guess if I'm going to make America great again, I'd better get on with it. Who's first?
First up, we've got the British Prime Minister, Mr. President, then the Germans, and then other European leaders.
You see? I just don't know what right order to call them. Has Bandit looked over the list yet? Where's Bandit? Steve, where's my strategic advisor? How can I make America great again if my strategic advisor isn't here?
Here I am, Mr. President. All ready with a strategic advice. Which godless heathens are we attacking now?
What? None. I have to call the neighbours today. Have you seen this list of calls? I need your advice. Who should I call first?
Doesn't matter, Mr. President. They're all godless sinners. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go back to planning the war.
Okay, great. What war is that?
The war against the godless heathens, Mr. President.
You mean Congress? No, that was last week. Which godless heathens are we attacking this week? No, don't tell me. Just don't start a war too far from home. Okay, Bandit?
Yes, Mr. President. Whosoever defieth the Lord shall pay with the wages of sin.
I hope he isn't going to get us into too many wars, Mr. President.
Oh, don't worry about that, poor B-boy. Bandit told me just yesterday that they're only battles for civilization, not real shooting wars, just battles for ideas. And you know, as the resident genius, I'll win them all hands down. Hands down. I swear to God, as the greatest deal maker of all time, I will.
Yes, the greatest president and deal maker, period.
Good, Spicy, you're right. I am the best. Of course I'm the best. Now, Proby, have the Brits agreed to my state visit yet?
Yes, Mr. President. Their ambassador told me just yesterday they'd love to see you.
And they've agreed to my conditions? Adoring crowds lining the street, the Queen looking on, one of their princes and my caddy. You know I won't stand for them pawning me off with some cheap prince from Nigeria. You have to watch out for those sneaky Brits.
Not yet, Mr. President. They say they can't find the adoring crowds.
Typical Brits. Can't do anything right. Why, crowds are easy to arrange. We do it all the time at my rallies. What else are poor people for? Have one of my campaign people tell them how it's done.
Yes, Mr. President. Now the phone call, sir?
Okay, but no more than 5. I don't want to wear out my golf swing. Then we'll just have time for our morning staff meeting so everyone can thank me again before it's golf time. You know, it's important we give the staff time to thank me or they get a little jumpy.
Yes, Mr. President. Now, we've got your call to the British Prime Minister. I'll get her on the line.
Okay, that's Terry, right? Or no, David?
It's Teresa, sir. It's on the briefing paper in front of you, sir. If you could just read that over, and then we'll start the call.
Angela? This is it. Angela and Dutchland? What the hell's going on here, Proby?
Oh, sorry, Mr. President. The papers are out of order. That's the briefing for paper from Germany. This is the briefing for the British.
But, Proby, this is too long. It's 3 whole pages. You know I don't like this much detail. It confuses the big picture. What's this muck? GDP? Why do I want to know the British GDP? It's only a crappy little hello call. Barely worth my time. All these crappy little details, but not the important stuff? Like, are they godless heathens or not? Has Bandit looked at this? Didn't he do a list of godless heathen countries for me?
Yes, sir. He gave us a draft list the other day, but basically it just has just about every other country in the world on it.
Yes, of course it does. But he listed them in order of their godless heathenness. He's also marked which ones he wants me to nice to. Some sort of strategy thing, I suppose. Find that list for me, Proby. I don't need to know the crap like their GDP or history, but I need to know who I'm speaking to. The important stuff, like how many hotels and golf courses I have there.
Yes, Mr. President, sir. Right away, Mr. President.
Well, Spicy, you'd better go off and do whatever it is you do for me. What is it you do for me?
I speak to the press for you, Mr. President, sir.
Why? I mean, I speak to the press much better than you do. It's just natural, you know, because I'm a genius, right? So why do I need you?
Well, Mr. President, of course you're a genius and can speak to the press better than me or anyone else here, but your time is too precious to be taken up by talking to the press every day. It'd take up too much of your golf time, sir.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Now I remember with my very excellent memory. Well, I suppose I won't fire you today.
Here's the bandit list, Mr. President, sir.
Oh, it's a long one. I didn't know there are this many countries in the world. Wait, where's Britain? I can't find it anywhere.
It's top of the list, sir. The United Kingdom of Great Britain.
Ah, yes, of course. But you're not being fair to me, Proby. It should start with the word Britain. You know we call it Britain and not... What's this United Kingdom stuff? If I didn't know better, I think you're trying to exhaust my genius on purpose. Like, as if. My genius is bottomless well. You know, Proby. And how many of these countries are shithole countries? Can you get Bandit to add that in a column? Like, a column real close so I can see it.
Yes, Mr. President. Sorry, Mr. President. But can we get that done later, sir? The first 5 calls are all to non-shithole countries.
Well, I guess that's okay. But, you know, you're going to have to do better, or maybe I'll have to fire you. Nothing personal, you know, Proby. But we can't have the greatest president in history being served by an incompetent like you. So you'd better start getting competent, right?
Yes, Mr. President, sir. Sorry, Mr. President. Can I put the call through now, Mr. President?
Yes, of course, let's go. I'm missing out on too much golf time because of your incompetence.
Oh, yes, Mr. President, sir. Sorry, Mr. President. I'll get the call put through right away. It's the British Prime Minister.
I haven't forgotten. Angela.
No, it's Teresa, sir.
Oh, yes, of course, I remember. Just testing you. You passed for the moment, Proby. Just don't let me down again.
Yes, Mr. President, sir. Sorry, Mr. President. Call coming through any moment now.
I've got to get better people around me. Time for some new apprentices. Bring, bring. Hello, Prime Minister Tanya. How's the weather over there in England?
And there we leave the president in sunny DC, busy making America great again.